Okay, I was going to go through the trailer real quick since we're doing our virtual training, give everybody an idea what's in here, where it's at. We have mostly everything labeled. The other things that are not labeled are pretty self-explanatory. So I'm going to kind of start at this corner, work my way all the way around, and then we'll hit some of the other things maybe on the outside. So the first thing up here, if we have any issues, you can see up here in the corner that there's the breaker box. There's breakers for the battery that's down in the floor underneath the yellow barrel there. You can see the hatch. That's where the battery is located. If we have any issues between those two, it would be where we would start to look. Up here in this yellow bag, we've got our cordless DeWalt drill that will run our auger, anything else we might need. And we've also got a couple batteries in here and a dual battery charger that is plugged in and ready to go. Also back here, the front end of the trailer is all hazmat, mostly all hazmat. We have 4 of these emergency spill truck kits up here in the corner. We need those. We have on this shelf and up here is pig products. And you can see we got signs on both sides. We'll get a close-up of the sign. Tells you what colors to use for what materials. So if you come in, you're not sure what color to grab, look at the sign, and those will let you know what to use. The only thing in the front that's not hazmat, you'll see up on the top shelf, are the 6 Gumby suits that we're going to store in here. And then along the bottom, we have the spill drums that we're setting next to the wall. The big white one and this middle one are oil only. And then on this side, we've got one that has yellow, which is also a universal. The labels have been updated, so you can see that if you get a close-up of that label, I wrote the numbers of how many things are in there on the actual drum. So all of that's been updated, and the again, the pig materials correspond to the signs on the walls. If we need them, you'll notice down in the corner over there next to the white drum, if we park the trailer, we have wheel chocks that we can use. We'll go over to the side here. We've got a telescoping DeWalt light. It's just a simple black strap similar to this one that goes around that secures it. You pull it out, the battery goes in the bottom. Like I said, the batteries are over in the case over there. We've got Pepsi crates that we can use for our grain rescue. In this box, we've got our anchors and our pipes to create our 5,000-pound anchor points that we can put in. Dave is in the process of getting us a hole saw, a couple of hole saws with the chucks already in them, and those will be with the drill. Over here on this side, we've got long and short prusik cords and webbing hanging there. So if you need those, we can grab that. Coming around to the shelves, each one of the shelving units is labeled as to what kind or what size harness is in each one. Keep in mind the helmets are one size fits all, universal. So it doesn't matter which helmet you grab, they're all the same size, they adjust on the back. But each harness is above. So it doesn't mean that Rescuer 1 needs to take that harness. It's just they're setting different, in that order. However, in the bin with Rescuer 1 is a bag. This has 6 carabiners and a plate for our anchors for our belays. So you'll grab that as Rescuer 1, or your systems team person will grab that and decide how they're going to anchor it. Each one of the rescuers, 4 rescuers, have a different color rope, and I tried to make the bags correspond as close to the rope colors as I could. Then we have a blue haul line, and we have a yellow victim belay. In this bin, we have our rope gloves. We have 3 pairs of extra large, 3 pairs of extra, 6 large, and then we've got some earplugs and safety glasses. Right now, the safety glasses are in our COVID-19 kits. So if we were to have a hazmat response or a confined space response, we'll have to grab our glasses out of that for the time being. In this bin, we've got our rope edge protector, and we've got 2 blue salvage tarps. I'm going to skip down to the bottom row for 1 second here. In each one of these bins, there's 2 100-foot red ropes. That bin has 1 yellow 200-foot and 1 blue 300-foot. In the the black bags, we have pulleys in one bag and different sized and shaped carabiners in the other bag. They're left open. We can just grab them and go, and they're sorted out. The last bin on the bottom is a 100-foot pre-connect 3-to-1. So if we need that, we can grab it. I'm going to start back over here on this side. So each one of these bins will contain a vest. Each vest, you'll be able to see there's a label that says who that's for. So this first bin is the rescue branch director, and you also know that there's a see that there's a portfolio in here. So this has information that the rescue branch director will go over these forms later in the training, but this has scene assessment questions front and back for either the rescue branch director or the incident commander to go through. So they'll have pens, pencils, some information in there if they need. So that's the rescue branch director, that's yellow. The entry team leader has a portfolio as well, and in the portfolio, you'll notice, again, we'll go through these forms later, but the forms are laid out and color coded as the same as our rescuers and our haul lines. And all of the forms at the top, we have listed who is responsible for completing the form. So the entry team leader is going to be the person that's obviously watching who's going in, so they can write down the names of who's on each one of those lines, so we have names. The hazard team leader has a portfolio as well. They are the one that will start to complete the rescue permit, the entry permit, and then they also have a atmospheric monitoring log. So they will be the one using the gas meter, not necessarily themselves, but their team would be monitoring the atmosphere continuously. And also the hazmat team or hazmat team leader is responsible for lockout tagout, and we have an additional lockout tagout kit in our rescue trailer as well as in Rescue 3. The last 2 vests are the systems team leader, which is the basically the leader of the people with the haul rope. He or she's in charge of the up and down and the mechanical part of that process. And then the air team leader obviously is in charge of making sure we have the air supplies needed. Right now SCBA, but we'll be talking about possibly supplied air here in a little while. We'll also be going over in the training later the SOG for our confined space, and it will lay out more of what each one of these team members will do. If we go towards the back of the cabinet, you'll see that we have our grain rescue equipment here on the corner. So we've got our 6 rescue panels, we've got our auger, and we've got our bar for getting the panels apart if we need. One thing you'll notice, it's kind of hidden a little bit, but down underneath this long cabinet is our tripod. So if we need the tripod is down there underneath that cabinet if we're needing that for anything. Going around to this side of the trailer, we have our generator that is secured to the wall. This handle, there's 2 buttons here. You just press the buttons and you push them in, they're spring loaded, pick it up, and you can turn the handle around and put the handle back on so that you have a handle to move it. It is fairly heavy, so if you do move it, the handle does come in pretty handy. It is filled right now with 5 gallons of aviation fuel and ready to go. The black cord on the wall here, if we're going to use the generator, would be the first cord to grab. It is a 25-foot cord, and you'll see that this side has a double plug that will plug into the side of the generator, which gives you 4 outlets on this side. Each one of the dots is a circuit, so we have 2 circuits on this cord. If you need more than that, to go any further, we've got a 100-foot 10-gauge extension cord, and this cord also has a multiple outlet on the other end, so we can get 125 feet, and then if we need more than that, we can start working through the trucks. We go over a little bit further, and we got all of our ice rescue equipment. So we got our Marsar rope, our Marsar board, rescue ring, and all of our equipment is mounted. What I will do is I will get a picture of this. I'm going to have it laminated, and then I'll put a picture of it above the poles over here so that if we do take the equipment down, we got an idea of how it gets put back. So I'm going to go to the emergency lights and the regular lights right now. So right here is all of our emergency lighting. The white labels are the emergency lights. This first switch is the side and rear emergency lights, and this switch is the front emergency lights. We had the trailer out on Saturday, and they said that these front lights do not interfere when you're using 6 to pull this trailer. You can go ahead and turn both of these switches on, and all the emergency lights 360 would be on, and it doesn't bother you in the mirrors. We have a right scene light and a left scene light. Keep in mind when you do turn these on, it does take just a second for the light to actually come on. So if you flip it on and look real quick and it's not on, just give it a second and it'll come on. The regular switch right here is the 110. So if we're plugged into shore power, you can see out the door we've got the cord plugged into the wall. If we're on 110 power, that will run the lights that we have on right now. If all we have is battery power, there's a switch here that will run LED lights up above us. So we can run on battery if we need. We got light in here. There's also a switch for the LED lights right inside the back ramp as well. So I'm gonna have Jennifer's doing my camera work today. So I'm gonna have her go outside. I'm gonna go ahead and turn on all of the emergency lights so that you can see the lights. And I'll also turn on the scene lights, give you an idea of what everything looks like completely lit up. And while the lights are on, we'll go up front and look at the hitch real quick. Keep in mind, this does take a 2 5/16 inch ball, and their trailer is not to be driven over 65 mile an hour, which we shouldn't be doing 60 over that anyway, but it's all written on the hitch. There is a receiver in the trailer to be used. So Russ will be coming up with a plan of if 6 is not available, who can actually haul the trailer itself. While we're on this side, I'm going to show you the lights, or excuse me, I'm going to show you the hookup for the side here. So this is our shore power. This cord is a half twist. It's kind of like a camper lock, half lock. So when you take it out, you give it a half twist and give it a little wiggle, and it pulls out. Push it in, give it a half twist, locks in. We took off the plastic screw-on ring so that somebody didn't screw that in and realize it's locked in. You just have to give it a half twist. On the other end of the cord, make sure when you leave with the trailer, you take the cord and the adapter with you. This is a 15 amp cord, and we've got an adapter to go to 110. So make sure you grab both of these, unhook that, and you'll just lay it inside on the floor in the trailer to transport it. The door, what we've decided, the door will be left open about that far, so that if you do bring 6 around to hook up to the trailer, you'll see that the door is open, and we hope that if you've got the door open, you realize that the cord is still in there if you hadn't got the cord put away, so that if the door was shut, you just don't hook on in a hurry and take off and the cord's still attached. So the door will be left open, the back door will be shut. Russ does also want us to check the trailer tire pressure along with our weekly tire checks. And then we'll also be coming up with an SOG for the batteries and anything else in here, the generator. We'll do that every other check. So we went to 2 weeks, so that generator should be started once a month. If there's any other questions, we can try to address them, but I wanted to try to make a quick video here. Oh, something else inside here. I just noticed looking up. We have outlets on the walls. We have to be into shore power or generator power for the outlets. But we have an outlet here, and we have an outlet in the back, one in this corner, basically the 4 corners. And we do have one in front, which is got stuff in front of it right now, but we do have one in the front. Again, have to be on shore power, either generator power or plugged into the wall for those to work. So hopefully that'll help everybody be a little more familiar with what's in the trailer, and we'll go on with the rest of our training.